Hello everybody. Today we will see how to RoboMate works with Pepper Robot in terms of acquiring data about the health of the elder and how to start an exercise, in particular an exercise that is give the ability to examine and acquire the cognitive impairment if there is an impairment of the elder. Using the app, which is the RoboMate app installed on the Apple on the Apple iPad, firstly I can start the contactless vital sign monitoring. So the robot starts to measure biodata by um, uh, just see the face of the elder, and instantly, in about 1 minute or less, it can give you the heart rate, and the blood pressure. Those information comes up to the to the RoboMate app, where an operator is remotely connected, so it can monitor anytime the site of data. After that, if the robot acquires this information, I'm able now to uh, position, to have to control, to have the right position to be placed in front of the holder. So I can use the teleoperation functionality of RoboMate that are directly connected to the robot, in this case to the Pepper robots. So now I'm trying to place the robot in the right place to put it in front of the camera, so I can start the exercise. So I'm moving the robot in the right position in front of the camera. Okay, and now it should be okay. Then I can select the profiler and start the scheduled exercise that I have created before. After that, the robot is autonomously, and it starts the exercise by asking about 30 questions in terms of the MiniMental examination test, which is a test to measure the cognitive level of the elder, of the patients. And in particular, those are 30 questions based on some domains that should be answered by the patients. For example, the first questions are about to know about if the elder is able to define the location, where is it. So the robot asks about where is the place, where are you actually, uh, with which floor you are actually, what is the currently here, what is the region, the country, where are you actually, and so on. After the robot says each asks about each question, the remote operator can evaluate his response and select if the right question has been said by the patient. Usually, this question can be autonomously acquired by the robot using the autonomous speech recognition, or can be manually inserted remotely by the RoboMate operator. In fact, as you can see in this video, the RoboMate app is able to receive audio and video streaming directly from the robot. So an operator remotely can modify and adjust the behavior of the robot, in this case an exercise behavior that acquires data. So it is able to respond itself. I mean, the human can respond itself if the right answer or a wrong answer has been defined by the patient. Also, it can change the behavior of the robot by add some behavior that can maintain the attention of the patients by changing the activity, by give a smile if something happened, or by says to have attention to the question, or maybe to define another question, repeat another question, or repeat the same question if it is not able, if the patient was not able to acquire it. And after that, you can see all the questions are going on. So the robot and the human, which assist the robot, create all the answers that the robot can use then to define a summary of the information. So it is able to define a score based on this type of exercise. Now it asks to make some math calculation, and it shows in this part some mathematical, simple mathematical exercise, and ask about a response which is right or is wrong. And this part of the exercise is for measure the level of the ability of make calculation for the patients. And it is a part of the 30 questions that are included in the MiniMental examination test, which is a test that is used worldwide to measure cognitive level and if there is a cognitive impairment in the patient. And now we are moving to another type of question, which are based on memory. The robot asks about to memorize 3 words, and then it asks you to repeat these 3 words after some seconds. Now it shows some objects on its own tablet and asks about to identify the object that the robot is actually showing. And so you go forward with another one object, and the remote operator give the evaluation of the answer directly from the RoboMate app. Now he asked about another exercise about memory, and in particular short-term memory. Now we ask about to execute an action, which is to take this paper from the tablet, to take the paper and divide the paper into parts, and now to place the paper on the table, to read what actually appear on the tablet and execute the action, to write something on a paper on the tablet, to write some words to a paper, and obviously the remote operator can see what happened through the eyes, through the camera of the robot, and so you have the ability to evaluate if the action is correct or not. But I can also use the robot itself to evaluate this action, since actually we have implemented some machine learning algorithms that are able to identify the action themselves, so the robot can evaluate autonomously this type of actions. And finally, we have finished the exercise. So the robot says, this was the last question, so see you again in the next exercise. After that, all the data that came up from this exercise are then acquired in our cloud servers. So I can access the results for this by selecting the profiles of the patients. Those are a list of the history of the exercise that has been executed with the robots. So I can select the last one. You can see all the MMS exercise with the score, with the time, the execution time. Here I have a 24 executed exercise, and here I can see the details of the tests with the score, with each part of the test based on the domains that actually the test covers, the biodata that have been acquired before the tests, and the score in time of this particular exercise, so I can measure in time how this type of exercise has been changed. And since this exercise is some sort of evaluation exercise, I can use this to evaluate how does the cognitive level of the patient is going through time through the activity of therapy. So it is a good way to measure its level of cognitive impairment, its level of cognitive level, and so I can have a track of this information in time. In fact, you can see here I have another type of detail about those information that was taken before with the evaluation of the cognitive level of the patients. And this could be useful also because I can define a therapy based on what are the difficulties of the patient, based on based on the single domains. For example, if the elder patients have problems in calculation or in orientation, I can define, obviously with a robot, some sort of exercise or therapy exercise. I can schedule them in a time in a period and then check if those are okay. I finished. Thank you for your attention.